6 horrifying true short scary stories. Dun 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 dun. Story 1. Simsy, no you're
When
not.
I was 15, my younger brother and I were left home alone. My younger brother was 13, and I guess our parents figured at that age we were fine to be left home alone while they went out. And honestly, both of us loved it. We would pretty much sit in the basement the whole time, playing the Wii and making ourselves a frozen pizza.
Oh my god, remember
this
the
night
Wii?
almost perfectly. We were playing Mario Kart with those steering wheels you can attach to the Wii remotes. Now, this was back when almost every household had home phones. And so a rule my parents would always have is that we had to keep one of the phones next to us at all times in case they called.
Okay.
We had been home alone and down in the basement for around an hour when
Wait, what are home phones? Is home phones where you call within the house? So like from one room to another room in the house? Is that a home phone? Is that what it is? Oh, just a landline. Oh, chat, I've only had a landline when I was like 6, 7, 8. That was it.
the phone went off. I looked at the caller ID, and it was one of my friends from school. I picked it up, and we started talking, but not even 10 seconds later, I could hear breathing through the phone. Dude, is that you? I explained to him that it wasn't, and that I could hear it too. It didn't stop, and so eventually my friend just told me he'd call me back later, as it was starting to freak him out. After I put the phone down, I told my brother what just happened. He looked at me, and his face went white. He asked me if it was possible that the sound was coming from our line, as we had a phone on every level of the house.
Oh, wait, with landlines. Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. It's like if you pick up the landline and you're talking to someone and someone else in your house picks up that landline, they can hear your conversation. So, like, if I'm like, oh, yo, Bill. Yo, did you see that? Did you see that person the other day? They stunk, didn't they, Bill? I thought that was your mom. Oh, really? Hey, you talking about me? Mom, get on the phone. Like one of them. They can literally just tap into you. Man, that must have been so annoying.
This thought horrified me.
That must have been so annoying.
It made sense, but that would mean someone else was in the house and picked up one of the phones either upstairs or on the ground floor. And so, of course, both of us got really paranoid and decided to search the house to put our minds at ease. We went upstairs to check the ground floor, but nothing. We then went up another floor, and what we saw left us completely speechless.
Dead body.
A man in at least his 60s was standing with his back to us, hunched over the table with the phone. Instinctively, my brother and I looked at each other, turned around and ran as fast as we could out of the house's front door.
What?
We went straight to one of our neighbors' houses, slamming on the door and screaming. After they would open it up, as quickly as we could, we told them what we had just witnessed. And without hesitation, they called the police and then our parents. When the police arrived and searched the house, the man was found hiding in a closet near to where we had seen him.
What?
All I personally know for sure is that the guy was arrested. Everything else neither me nor my brother were informed of, even to this day.
What a freak. Story 2.
I'm 25 and live alone in an apartment. Well, technically not completely alone. I have a dog named Max. He's great, but I'll often come home from work to find he's broken something, or torn up another part of my living room sofa. It finally got to a point where it was becoming an everyday occurrence, so I figured I had to do something about it.
There's a problem.
I looked it up online and came across a site that suggested getting your dog new toys. The idea being that it would keep him entertained enough to where he wouldn't cause any damage to the house.
Wait, hold up. You had to look up on a site to get your dog toys? Buddy, if I was your dog, I'd tear up the sofa too. You ain't buying your dog toys? You had to really search up the internet to get your dog toys. I ain't surprised, bro. I ain't surprised. You gotta buy the dog toys all the time.
And so I tried it, but this didn't really work. I remember one night doing more research on the topic when I came across an ad for this pet camera. It was essentially a tiny camera that would record your pet on a live feed so you can monitor their behavior while you're away. It even had an audio function so that you can talk to them. The idea that this would actually help seemed like a bit of a stretch, but I figured at this point it couldn't hurt. I got overnight shipping and installed the camera immediately. I set it up in the living room to my apartment, as that's where Max spent most of his time. My first day at work, I probably checked the camera a good 20 times, and anytime I caught him scratching up the furniture, I spoke into the microphone, and it actually worked. Max would always stop in response to the noise.
Yo, chat, I'm setting up Ring indoor system in the house because we're getting a dog in a few weeks. I cannot wait to freak the dog out in a fun way, right? You guys know I'm going to be a good dog owner, yeah? But I can't wait to go on a Ring camera and be like, hey. Well, I'm going to call it Ragnar. I don't know if his name's going to be Ragnar. Ragnar, over here, Ragnar. Over here. He's going to be freaking out.
It was nice too, because anytime major movement was detected, I would get a notification. So it wasn't like I had to constantly be looking at my phone. By this point, it had been around a week since I purchased the thing, and it felt like the problem was pretty much solved. But this night is when things went south. I was lying in my bed, just on the edge of falling asleep, when my phone buzzed. It was a notification from the camera. I was almost sure it was some sort of malfunction, but I opened it anyway. What I saw caught me completely off guard. I saw an unknown man in a black hoodie walking around my apartment living room. He was slowly moving around, looking through various items on a shelf I keep next to the front door.
Yo, that would be a nightmare!
Almost instantly, I got out of bed and locked the door to my bedroom. And I guess the guy must have heard me, as when I went back to my bed and checked my phone, the guy was gone, with the front door left wide open.
Oh my god.
I called the police immediately, and only when they arrived did I unlock my bedroom door.
Yo, do you know what's crazy? Is why is your dog not alerting you? What dog do you have? How is your dog not alert? You really got woken up by the alert of your system. Not your dog.
I explained everything I saw to the two officers that arrived, though I had no way of showing them the footage caught on the pet camera, as the thing literally had no feature that allowed you to go back in time and look at previous footage. It only showed a live feed, or at least from what I could tell. But, I mean, I got the thing for like 15 bucks on Amazon, so I guess I got what I paid for. The only thing I could really show them was the notification I got on my phone, and realistically the most they could do was make a report, and that's what they did. Nothing was stolen, so I guess that's a plus. To this day, I honestly don't know how the intruder got through my front door and into my living room. From what I remember, I had locked the door when I got home from work. But either way, I'm just glad the camera notified me when it did. The way I look at it, there's a good chance that notification saved my life that night.
Mad. That'd be horrible waking up and you see someone in your house.
This happened to me when I was around 8 or 9. It was summer, and both my parents were working at the time, so I was home alone. I remember sitting in our living room watching TV when I could hear the doorbell ring.
Ding dong.
So curious at this point, I got up, and without even looking first, opened the front door to see who it was. It was the mailman, or at least that's what the guy said. The guy claimed our address had received a package, but that he needed help carrying it. Even being as young as I was, I could tell something was off.
Okay.
The guy wasn't even wearing any kind of uniform, rather a dirty white shirt and jeans. He didn't even have a truck mailman would usually have.
Wait. Do delivery drivers even wear uniform anymore? I have so many delivery drivers turning up in normal cars, normal clothes. I just open the door and thank you. They still have uniforms? They do? Yeah, in the UK it's messed up then because some of them might, but bro, so many will just rock up in normal clothes. So many will just, especially Amazon, they just rock up.
Or at least from what it looked like. I asked him about it, and he responded with, "Oh, yeah, it's just around the corner over there," and proceeded to point down the street. The guy kept pleading for me to help him, but after thinking it over, I realized I probably shouldn't leave the house. So, without saying anything, I shut the door on the guy and locked it. Right as I did this, the guy yelled out, "Hey, aren't you gonna help me?" I knew something wasn't right.
Don't want it, buddy.
And so I ran all around the house to close and lock all the windows. Afterward, I called my dad and told him everything. While I was doing this, the man was still outside the front door, shouting that I needed to come help him. That's when I replied to the guy that my dad was coming home, and right when I said that, the guy ran off. My parents would inform the police about the situation, though the guy himself was neither caught nor identified.
Yeah, I think UPS in the UK still wear uniform. Yeah, they do actually. UPS though. Amazon, not really.
This happened to my friend Ethan and I around a month ago now. We both live just outside Las Vegas, and this night we decided to take a drive out into the desert. The night was supposed to be completely clear, and we figured we could get some cool pictures of the stars while simultaneously getting my friend's dog outside the house.
Okay.
So, it was me, Ethan, and his dog. We drove in the middle of the desert for around an hour, when finally we arrived at this little overlook with a small parking area. Being that it was night, and pretty much in the middle of the desert, there were obviously no other cars except ours. We took pictures for a couple hours, until eventually deciding to call it a night. Ethan explained how he had to relieve himself, and told me to just wait in the car with his dog. And so that's what we did. We got in the car, and I locked the doors. I don't really remember why. I guess it was more so out of habit than anything. Anyway, I was on my phone, when outside—
Bro, if I'm anywhere in the middle of nowhere, which isn't often, by myself in a car, I'm locking my doors. Bro, when I'm in the car park and there's people around, I'm locking my doors. You never know what crazy person's gonna come up and try to open your door, man. I'm always locking my doors.
the car, I could hear gravel moving. Like, it was clearly footsteps walking up to the car. I thought it was Ethan, but it had only been like 20 seconds at this point. Suddenly, Ethan's dog started going crazy, barking and growling. I looked out the window to try and see what got him so worked up, and I quickly noticed some random guy that clearly wasn't Ethan. Right as I saw the dude, he started sprinting the rest of the distance to the car. The guy then attempted to put his hand through a half-open window in what I can only assume was an attempt to unlock the door. But right as he did this, Ethan's dog clamped onto the dude's hand.
Hey! Yeah! Let's go, doggo!
The guy yelled out a scream of pain.
Yeah!
And by this point, Ethan was now running back towards the car. Somehow, the guy was able to get his hand free and proceeded to run into the darkness of the desert. Ethan and I both instinctively started chasing after the guy, but stopped only a minute in, realizing it wasn't worth it.
Good dog.
We would ultimately call the cops and report what had just happened.
Good dog.
But all they really did was tell us to stay away from the area for the rest of the night. To this day, I have no idea who that guy was, or what his intentions even were. I don't even know where the guy came from. I mean, you gotta remember, we were in the middle of the desert with no civilization for miles. Ethan and I both agreed to never talk about it again. The whole situation was just too weird and unexplainable.
Wrong time, wrong place.
I'm 20 and in college. I still don't know how, but somehow I was able to find a decently cheap studio apartment within a 10-minute drive from my school. Right as I saw it, I jumped on the opportunity. To be fair, it wasn't in the best part of town, so I guess that could have been why it wasn't absurdly expensive. But ultimately, I figured because of the location, I'd purchase a camera and set it up in the apartment, more so for peace of mind. This brings me to Friday.
You know what? You know when I've watched these scary videos, like a lot of like the more like the paranormal ones, I always question them. Why do they have cameras set up in their house? Do you know what I mean? That was like my biggest, like, I always thought, like, is it staged because they've got the camera in their house? But now that I own my own house, and I've actually got a Ring doorbell and a Ring camera outside, and I'm going to put cameras all in my house, it's cool. I understand it fully now. I didn't before, but now I understand why people set up cameras in their house. Because before, when I didn't have any myself, it confused me. Because like, what? Who does that? But now I get it. Now I get it. For security and just, you know, it's kind of just like fun flicking through the cameras. You know what I mean? And let's say you do something funny on camera or something and that Ring system can record it and stuff. So I get it. I get it now. I fully get it.
Friday night. I had just gotten back from school and was planning on heading right to bed. But before I could lay down, I noticed the light to the camera I had purchased was blinking.
Yeah, Gene.
Now, before I go on, I have to explain how these cameras work. The cameras are connected to Wi-Fi, And basically, they link to a website where by simply logging in, you're able to see a live feed from the camera.
God. Okay. I probably shouldn't get cameras installed in the house because I stepped outside this morning to get my parcels and I was like just walking around the front of the yard, right? And I was thinking, because we're planning the camp stream, I was like, oh, we could actually camp here. And then I hear a scream and it freaks me out. And it's Izzy on the Ring camera. So maybe I shouldn't get it because she don't stop playing around, bro. She keeps doing it. She keeps doing it.
Though, whenever someone is currently logged into the website, a small light on the camera itself will blink. So, the fact that the light was blinking meant somebody was currently logged into my account and had access to the live feed it was producing. I quickly pulled out my phone to see if I had...
You know what, chat? In a minute, I'll pull it up. That's why you gotta be in the Twitch streams, because you will see this. But after this video, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the where she scared me.
Opened the website by accident, and the blinking was caused by me. But no, I had no applications open whatsoever. In a panic at this point, I frantically attempted to open the website. But that's when I realized I had been logged out. I practically ran to the camera and unplugged it, and later I would throw it out completely. I still don't know who was watching me, or how they could have gotten a hold of my login info for the website. But whoever it was changed my password, and for whatever reason was using the account to view the live camera feed of my apartment.
That is scary.
I've since emailed the company, but have yet to get a response. As of right now, I'm still not even able to get into the account, as both the email and password were changed.
Take down the cameras, cover them that right now. That's weird. That's weird. Story 6.
This happened to me around 2 months ago, and honestly ever since then I can't get it off my mind. I'm 35 and live with my wife and 2 dogs. We have 2 Labrador retrievers that are only like 2 and 3 years old. They aren't guard dogs by any means. To be completely honest with you, the house we live in isn't in the best neighborhood, so it would have been nice to have guard dogs, but me and my wife love them regardless. So, anyways, it was around 9 p.m. this night. My wife was working late, which left me home alone with the dogs. I was in the office playing some game on my computer, when I could faintly hear the dogs start to growl. At first, I just thought they were fighting with each other. But when I walked out of the office, I noticed both of them staring intently at the front door. And that's when I heard a faint knock on the door. Both the dogs' ears shot up, and my heart actually started to race. I couldn't imagine why someone would have been at the front door this late. I walked into the guest bedroom and looked out the window, as that room gave me the best view of the front porch. And standing on the porch were 2 men wearing all black, holding what looked like crowbars, or some type of blunt objects. I watched as the men then tried the door handle. But upon hearing this, the dogs started barking like crazy. This was honestly a surprise to me, as they almost never barked. In reaction, the men jumped back, looked at each other for a second, and then walked off. I instantly called my wife to warn her about the men.
Hey, honestly, dogs are perfect for home security, man. Because who wants to go in a house where you're just going to get mauled? No one. No one. No one. Everyone should just own dogs, man.
I still don't know what those guys' intentions were. They weren't selling anything, as they didn't stop at any of their houses. But to say I'm thankful for my dogs and scaring them off would be an understatement.
Big cats. Oh yeah, those claws. Those claws can do some things. But do you reckon cats would actually scare them off though? Maybe if you got a panther. Someone with a knife who kills the poor dog. Yeah, Mary, right? That's worse than just not dealing with the dog. Bro, if somebody stabbed someone's dog, I'm telling you right now, that somebody is going to activate psycho crazy mode and that thief will be dead.